Hello,
Am I
everyone.
kicking this off? Oh.
Go ahead, Finn.
I can kick it off, or you can, whichever.
No, go crazy. Go crazy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the lovely one-shot called Embers of Glory in the wonderful Alien role-playing game. Not sponsored, but in the new Colonial Marines Operation Manual. We're diving into a modified version of their first mission of a bunch of theirs in the Frontier War that they have as part of the new book. So, as we're getting going here, why don't we go around the table, explain who we are, who we'll be playing this evening, and take it away. I'm gonna take it away, Alex.
Well, hi, everybody. My name is Alex, and I am the executive producer here at the Untold Stories Project, and I'm very excited to have a bunch of special guests here tonight for this Alien one-shot. I will be playing the part of Private Clyde Parker, who is a rifleman and a general degenerate who is very eager to not get eaten by aliens tonight. Over to Bridget.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bridget Jeffries of Symphony Entertainment, where we focus on basically all horror tabletop role-playing games. So Alien is definitely one of my favorite systems. I'm super excited to be here. And I'm also super excited to be back on the Untold Stories Project because you guys fucking rock. Oh, language?
No, go crazy.
Yes.
This is a mature rated stream.
I realized I probably should ask this as well because I was like, no.
Sorry. Oh, Bridget and her mouth. I will be playing Private Stephanie Rue, who is a hospital corpse. We have had an ongoing discussion of what nickname to give her. Not really a nickname, but kind of like her play style. We've come up with Marshmallow, Cinnamon Bun, and a Bambi right now. So this is a young lady that really doesn't have the psychological, the physical fortitude to be out here. Why she is a Marine is completely beyond all of us. She's a competent doctor and she's very eager, but this isn't where she belongs. The last thing that was known, and this is really cool in the book that Mother allowed us to roll this, she was in a squad and everyone died and she was a sole survivor, which shouldn't have happened with this character. Was it luck or did she cower out and leave all her comrades to die? It was probably the latter. Or did she kill everybody? So she's been fighting that rumor and that accusation for a while. And right now she's pretty much hiding under the wings of her big brother, whose name is Tom Rooster. And you'll get to meet him soon.
Over to Paul.
I'll be playing our squad leader, Lance Corporal Marcus, who has a hard time not falling into command. AKA, every time he goes out in the squad, something awful happens, the commanding officer just keeps not keeping it together. Not just one time, but two times. Once on an alien world, and once in the middle of a situation where he had to basically patch up another soldier after somebody took one to the throat. So he has an awful habit of being field promoted, and he just kind of stuck at this point in time. So now he's leading second squad here to go look for some people, and it's going to be a milk run. It'll totally be a milk run. Nothing bad can possibly go wrong.
Just a good old search and rescue. What could be wrong?
Okay. Well, I'm not muted. Good. Well, greetings. I'm Heinrich Mohr. I'm primarily a Call of Cthulhu keeper, but I have had my eyes on aliens for quite some time, so really excited to get to try the system today. I will be playing Private Long Tom Rooster. Long is the nickname that he prefers to go by, but Tiny is one that perhaps other members of his squad have adopted, which is somewhat unfortunate given that he's about 7 foot tall, which marries well with the A2 smart gun that he brandishes along with his incinerator unit. He is looking out for his sister, who he loves dearly. That's going to be Rue, played by Bridget. Unfortunately, he has a bit of a taste of violence. So the possibility that his sister actually just murdered all of her squad mates, I mean, that would run in the family. So let's see what happens.
Bridget, also, I think this is an auspicious moment. I think this is the first time we've played together on this side of the table.
Oh my God, I think you're actually right. We're usually running for one another.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to kill each other. It's going to be great.
I like when you say running for one another, because what I hear is running from one another, as in one of you is the keeper and the other one is the player running away.
Probably that too.
Yeah.
She fed me to a
It works.
carnival of cannibals.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. So to kick off tonight, you all are currently in the briefing space of the lovely Tambatam US, I think it's US frigate that is currently stationed outside of O'Bannon's world in orbit, good distance away. O'Bannon's world is known for being a electromagnetic soup with very little life outside of it. There technically is a colony that sides with neither the United Americas or the United People. Oh God, I had it and then I lost it. I'm sorry. Oh, words. Killing it. Off the break. Just killing it.
It is my understanding that words are hard.
Yes, absolutely. Words are hard.
Mostly just English words, other languages less so, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's usually rules in other languages that make it less hard. There we go. Nope. The Union of Progressive People is the UPP. It sides with neither, and as far as you've heard, they have not been a problem for either side in this blooming frontier war that all of you are wrapped up in. The Tambatam and the 33rd Marine Assault Unit got stationed over here to do a asset recovery mission for the UAS Glory that got shot down over this world. And that was, you guys got on station about 2 days ago at this point. About 36 hours ago, first squad got stationed up to go down and see what was the news. About 12 hours in, you guys got the dropship came up to talk to the Tambatam to say that everything was going nominally, nothing out of the ordinary. Ran with the locals, nothing too crazy, and they found the ship and they'd given off some landmarks. The dropship then went back into the soup to provide covering fire / just cover for the Marines as they were doing their work. And that was about a day ago. Since then, there's been zero contact from first squad. And now, second squad, the lovely members that are sitting around this table, and 4 other Marines are currently sitting in a briefing space with their section sergeant, who is currently wrapping up a brief with them. And he finishes off this statement here. One of these has the words I'm looking for. Is it you? It's you. Usually, this is nope. Boy, howdy, I'm killing it. He finishes up with kind of last words of, so get in, find the boys, using everyone that's still alive. Collect our dead if we got them, and get out. Keep Mr. Gannon safe enough to keep WI happy. Alive would be preferable, but what happens. And you guys see a couple chuckle from the second fire team of the second squad. And you also see a kind of shifty look from an individual that is also in the briefing space with you, but not very obviously not in either battle dress or anything that resembles the USCMC, a Weyland-Yutani insurance agent by the name of Mr. Gannon. And he is here to, you guys would know, collect or really assess the situation and file the insurance claim on the UAS Glory for Weyland-Yutani. The section sergeant kind of goes, you got 12 hours, second squad, and then we'll send in some bigger guns if we don't hear back from you. Any questions?
Sir. No, sir.
She awkwardly raises her hand.
Yes, Private.
What was the last communication that we received from Squad 1?
This last communication was from Squad 1's augment of dropship, from Lieutenant. I literally just had this pulled up, and I don't know what happened to my primer document that I had for all this. I'm very sorry.
Oh no, for what it's worth, technology loves to act up when you're live.
Oh, absolutely.
True that.
It waits until you're live, and it's like, we don't exist.
Pounces.
Yeah,
It
don't-
pounces.
Oh, there it is.
This is how the robot revolution begins.
There we go.
Look, if
Skynet
they hadn't
has
taught the
arrived.
Roombas to plug themselves in, that revolution would have been over in 6 hours.
Last communication was from Lieutenant George Sazowski, who was one of the dropship pilots. Basically relaying coordinates or rough landmarks for if things didn't go well, but or rough idea where the ship is in relation to the planet, in relation to where we are in orbit. Said that everything was nominal, no losses, one injury from a plant, and otherwise it was smooth sailing. Came in contact with locals, had not a hostile confrontation with them, and moved on to their objective.
I'm going to raise my hand.
She quickly brings hers back down.
Yes.
Sergeant, when you say injury from a plant, do you mean like the poison sumac variety or a man-eating sort of monster?
That's a really good question, Clyde.
That's a good question. Let me see.
I just want to know if I need to bring down some like neosporin or if we're talking like a flamethrower.
We have a flamethrower, Clyde.
Affirmative.
I love this outfit. Best gang I ever signed up with.
Well, get through your first drop, and you can see whether or not it's really all that. The section starter guy goes, but it's a from what I understood, it was just scraped himself up on a branch or something like that. So, but also the lieutenant didn't really clarify too much.
Without raising my hand, I will ask, sir, what is a non-hostile confrontation?
That means nobody shot at each other, Private.
Weird.
Well, considering that
happens.
they are neither UA or UPP, and we didn't shoot at them first. This is technically their planet. We don't own this. We just are stopping over here.
I snort in a manner that communicates my belief that because we have guns, that does give us a certain claim of ownership.
Just kind of does one of these numbers at you. The straight line.
My snorts communicate a lot.
I am not fluent in snort, so I did not know what he said.
I speak snort plenty fine.
All right, well then I'll make sure you're translating for me there.
But Clyde and I have something of a secret language.
Yeah, the language of death.
I'm happy you two are happy together.
He snorts, I go,
Mm-hmm. When do we sit down, sir?
Well, y'all got your gear, right? So
Yes, sir.
give us about 30 minutes to finish doing the prep work on the dropship, and you
Mhm.
guys will head south.
Sounds good.
Yes, Private.
Oh, I just wanted to clarify the oh God, and she looks over to her brother, like, what's the place where they pick us up from? What is that called?
Easy.
Yeah. Has that been established? Like, where do we go in 12 hours?
In 12 hours, if you don't report back, we're just going to send in bigger guns. If we hear from you before those 12 hours are up saying you need more time or whatever you need, that timeline will get changed. But in 12 hours, if we don't hear from you and you guys aren't back on this ship, then we will do things. If in 12 hours, you need to be there. Basically, just be back here in 12 hours, private. And, your dropship lieutenants and captains will make sure that happens, assuming you get on the dropship.
So they can pick us up anywhere. We don't have to just find a clearing somewhere and wait for the ship to touch down.
They can pick us up wherever you end up, yes, in theory. They'll be on station, and you guys have your comms devices, assuming they don't get busted up somewhere in the fall.
Now, why would you say something like that, Sergeant?
Put you on edge, sir. Grab some extra signal flares on your way out, though.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go get gear. Let's go double check everybody's gear. So as squad leader, he'll line up everybody and have everybody double check everyone's stuff to make sure nobody is falling short, because he just got this command. And
you want to make a roll for that, or you just want to
sure.
Right.
I'll make a roll. What do you want me to roll for that?
I would say let's make a command roll.
Sure, I'm actually pretty good at that. Look at that.
I figured I'd start in your wheelhouse at least.
You start inside my wheelhouse. I appreciate that. Let's see if I can open the right Roll20 tab. There we go.
I need to do a couple more things.
Nope, I'll miss it because I can't roll 6 on 66.
Ooh.
There you go.
Cool. Everybody listens, for the most part.
I do not get the extra signal flares he asked me to.
No, you do not get the extra
Makes complete
flares.
sense. Yep.
Lance Corporal Lorenzo is on the line, is not paying attention to you. He's currently looking over some of his own gear, but also just kind of waiting, just ready to get out there.
Cool. If he's paying no attention, I flick him in the forehead when I get to him.
Nice.
You flick him in the forehead, and he kind of looks back at you and goes,
"Pay attention."
I checked my gear.
Cool. Double check it. If first squad disappeared, double check it.
Hi, Corporal.
Seeing this exchange, I will emit a snort that communicates that I think this is going to be some good shit.
Yep.
But I will say that all of your characters are, all of your gear is accounted for, functional, operational at the start of this.
I don't like the way you said that.
We'll see what happens when we crash land on the planet.
Right.
Well, that's how every story I've ever played with Finn starts.
You've also played exactly, I think, one story with me.
So. See, every story is a true statement.
That's fair. You're right. You're not incorrect, but all right. So you all gear checked, everything accounted for, no extra signal flares. You guys do have some of the ones that you have on you. The section sergeant also stops you all as you guys are currently about to board the dropship. It is currently, you got that nice hum of the engine. It's currently obviously not doing anything too major, but you can definitely hear it reverberate around this hangar space that you guys are walking into. Section sergeant is moving with a purpose and kind of stops in front of you all, goes real quick. And you see two privates hauling like a pallet full of what looks to be like 20-gallon drums past him. And he goes, real quick, per command's orders, if you guys don't find the first drop ship, I think the original goal, not I think. He goes, the original goal for them, once they got everything done, was to burn the ship, because we don't want to fall into UPP hands. And, if it's already wrecked, it's no good to us. It's not leaving anything for them. So that there, he kind of points as it gets kind of ferried onto the dropship, is a good number of some agents that will pretty much turn the ship into a nice smoldering pile of metal at the end of it, for use for when you guys are done.
I'm sorry. What type of chemical is it?
Oh, please.
More specifically, what proof is it?
You don't want to drink it. I don't
I
think.
can guarantee you that, Private. You do not want to drink it.
No, I was just like wondering, is it something that we set on fire, or is it something that's activated by contact with oxygen, or like is it acid? I just wanted to clarify.
It's a good clarification.
She looks so pleased that you gave her that passive compliment. She's like, she looks over at her brother, like, see, he likes me.
I will lean over to Clyde and say, see, my sister's smart.
She got a smart mouth, that's for damn sure.
I give a snort of warning.
Nah,
KS
don't
Ghost.
worry, Tiny. I ain't trying to start nothing with you before we get down on the planet.
Some good old QTC. So
No, well, you definitely don't want to drink it.
no, but it'll certainly make quick work of all that.
As a side note, this is very important to me in this exact moment. I assume the insurance rep is on the dropship when we get there.
Yes.
What type of shoes are they wearing?
Ooh, good question. They are
High heels.
wearing like.
That's a legit question,
That is, yeah.
It is a legit question.
and one I will start asking every time going forward.
They're
Are
wearing.
they wearing
like,
loafers or boots?
They're wearing some boots.
Okay.
Okay.
Still dress pants,
Making
though.
They're definitely still dress pants.
Okay,
Dress pants.
they were gonna get the laughing. I was gonna point and laugh. They were wearing loafers. Like I was gonna
No,
be
no, no.
legitimately mean about it. Like, oh, you gonna ruin them.
No,
I was gonna think that's gonna make a handsome coffin.
Yeah.
No. They are wearing boots. He is also
Okay.
wearing dress pants that have been tucked into the boots.
Oh my god.
and your usual Wayland Yutani corporate suit style get up for insurance
So
agents.
he's wearing the 80s puffy jacket and
Yes.
okay,
And a
yes.
pith helmet.
The almost life preserver but not jacket that we're so
Yeah.
accustomed to Wayland Johnny wearing. Check. All right.
Yes. So
He looks riser-esque.
so
All right.
yeah, just a couple drums of QTC for
Mhm.
whenever you guys get done. Make sure that the UPP don't get hands on whatever it is.
Here you, sir.
Whatever's left.
Mr. Gannon, I can't help but wonder, what exactly are you here to do an insurance claim on? The ship we're about to burn up?
Well, just to really assess and file it for a certain way to see whether or not it's going to be, we have different ways we can classify various insurance policies and various,
Oh,
essentially
Jesus.
just clarifying which one it is.
Are you going to take your pictures before or after we burn it to the ground?
Before, because after it'd be, it'd just be burn and
It'd be worth more
that'd
for
be a
the
different
insurance
risk.
claim, I'm sure.
Yes and no.
You ever been on a drop before, Gannon?
Can't say I have, not at least one like this. So
Oh, you
Okay.
better buckle up, Buttercup.
I will hand him a paper bag. You gonna need it. And then
take your word for it.
I do the classic thing where after I strap in and I go to sleep. I straight up strap in and go to bed.
I imagine that as we're going down, I am probably fingering sort of this necklace I have, holding a bullet, which is a pretty rough-looking bullet, like it got removed from a body, which it did, specifically my body, by the person that we just lost.
Oh no, Bridget just disappeared.
But once Bridget reappears, just touching that keepsake that she dug out of my arm when I got shot for the first time.
As you kind of finger that, Lance Corporal Lorenzo kind of looks over and goes, "Oh, sick. Where'd you get that pulled out of?"
This here was my first engagement.
Nice.
Who over there patched me up. She's a good sister.
One. Nice. You see him, he pulls out his own kind of chain, and there are 3 bullets, 2 that are mushroomed out as they have made impact, and then one that is just a like full cylinder, like still should be in like a round style bullet. And he goes, when you get more of them, it's always a good time. He goes, torso, midsection, technically thigh, though it ended up in the dirt behind me.
I will. I'll respond with a snort that communicates that I like what I see.
Mr. Gannon, do you need help strapping in?
I think I am okay, though. If you
Nah, it's okay. Come here, sit down. I'm gonna
He-
buckle him in. I'm gonna pick his pocket.
Nice.
All right,
Bravo.
go ahead and boy howdy, make me a roll.
Do you want me to do like agility, mobility?
I'm gonna say mobility, because you're just trying to be quick about it. And I need to make a roll for him for observation. See whether he sees you.
I got a 6 and a 1. I don't know what that means.
It means you have one success.
Okay.
We're no stress die, yes, so we're not worried about the ones.
Yes.
Yep.
It's not a stress die, so.
I'm gonna guess we're gonna roll stress die separately and roll 20.
Yeah, it'd be the easiest way to do it. Ooh, he does not seem to notice you.
Oh,
Take
well
his
done.
pocket.
I'm gonna take his wallet.
You take his wallet. I will. You which pocket? Do you reach to the left or the right pocket?
Oh no. Heroes always go
Ooh.
left, so I'm gonna go from the right pocket.
Gotcha. Okay. In that case, you grab a small little, about 5 by 3, like envelope that seems to have like a nice like official seal on one side. The other, it's like a nice manila thing. It has, what seems to be full of papers of some kind. Yeah.
Well, I will pocket that and
Okay.
tap him on the shoulder and say, "You're really gonna want to make sure you got that bag handy."
He holds it up. Right here.
I hear it's
Here.
easier with your eyes open, but sometimes it's better to have them closed.
Well, I mean, if we're following your squad leader's advice, it's just easier to sleep.
Yeah, sure, you believe that. Whatever, buddy. I'm gonna go sit down.
All right. So while you sit down, strap in. And then you guys feel the ship kind of lift off the deck as the Tambatan kind of, ushers you out of its hangar on the lovely UD4 dropship. That is the UD4B production model. Currently has its complement of 6 passengers currently, as well as a couple of barrels of QTC sitting in kind of like the more cargo bay area in between you all. And you guys begin making your way down to the surface.
So is sorry to interrupt. Is
No.
second fire team going to come down on a separate dropship, or
Yes,
Okay,
that is the
cool.
goal. You guys have 2 dropships that will be going down.
Okay. Copy that.
To drop you all off. Since you guys have a couple extra compliments than the usual 8 of the squad. So the trip down through atmosphere is pretty uneventful, or before atmosphere, I should say. Atmosphere begins to shake a little bit, and I would love a quick I'll have a quick stamina roll, actually. Just to keep everything together.
Yeah, 1 success.
1 success. Okay.
0 successes for Rue.
Gotcha.
0 for me because I can't seem to find a 6. So I apparently wake up. Ah. Ow. Bumped.
Nope.
Zero.
No 6 for me.
Okay. So,
Hmm.
for
This ain't gonna go
Marcus,
well.
Rue and Tom, you all will take a point of stress. And as the shaking kind of gets to you a little bit, you see Mr. Gannon absolutely uses the bag gifted to him.
Oh,
You just kind of see him. You don't really hear him as much because of the atmosphere burn and stuff like that, but you do see him into it real quick. Just super pale.
I feel like our stress is the result of being worried that vomit's going to go all over the place.
oh.
To a degree, but given that we're in a scene and I took the banter talent just for moments like this, I will get on our comms and immediately start talking about I hate it when they wake me up when I get woken up by a drop ship situation like this and reduce our stress level so that we do not go down there already hyper amped.
It's not hyper amped, just a little bit amped.
That's my squad leader, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel calmed.
Yep, like I took this talent because I figured this would be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And once per scene drop down is super nice.
Yes.
So
the banter carries you the rest of the way through the atmosphere burn. Eventually you guys level out underneath the clouds. You hear one of the, what looks to be probably the captain, kind of come on and go, well, we are on our own now. So we're going to drop you guys down, make a few flights over, make sure there's nothing crazy going on. And then we will be circle around to pick you all up, or at least await your guys' go ahead for to make another drop pass by to pick you all up. Also on station in case you guys need fire support, should have come to that. As you guys pass through the clouds and hear that kind of electromagnetic soup kind of creep into your comms for a moment before creeping away, as you guys are now inside that layer, you guys will see the nice lush green trees and jungle of O'Bannon's world. Tall trees kind of reaching up into the sky, and just all sorts of mud and dirt and stuff like that peeking through from here at places. You see a small like spire of smoke off in the distance, and another a little bit farther away. As you guys close in, and the captain goes, well, sure was something here. I'll let you guys figure out what it was. You kind of feel the ship kind of come to a halt in forward movement, kind of slow down and touch down. You guys look out kind of like these little port windows, which I believe are on the ship. Let me double check and make sure I'm correct in that statement. So I say it, but it may not be.
Didn't think they had port windows on those drop ships.
No, they don't. I'm thinking of another ship. You guys don't see this then. You guys will see the landing ramp kind of pitch down. You guys get a blast of kind of this muggy hot air as it kind of comes into the cargo space, and the captain comes on and goes, all right, last stop.
I can't believe y'all brought me down here to the bayou again.
Mm-hmm. Marcos will stand up, take out a pair of the Bimax sunglasses, like the anti-flash ones, put them on and be like, time to go to work, Marines, and take a very large cylinder from the overhead rail and strap it to his back.
Rue is very slow getting out of her seat. She has a massive headache. She's like wobbly. She's looking out of this jungle like, I never should have enlisted. And she's going to look at her brother and say, Tom, do you think they're cut off, pinned down, or you think they're dead?
I'm going to grab my gear, lock and load in plain sight of my sister, and then I'm going to sort of physically pick her up a little bit out of her seat, put her on her legs, and just say, "Don't worry about it," and start heading out.
I think that snort means, yeah, they're dead.
Affirmative. All right. She'll drag her feet off.
The helmet goes on the head. Medic.
Oh, sorry. It's like backwards, and it takes her a second to get it together, but she gets it there eventually.
I will. I'll go over to Clyde as we're exiting and say, "She's smart," and then keep going.
She asks a lot of dumb questions.
Lance Corporal Lorenzo kind of looks around and goes, "All right, here we fucking go." Kind of picks up one of the cylinders as well and heads out. The second fire team, you guys see, kind of unloads off a kind of almost to your left as you're exiting out this drop ramp. They kind of exit out, kind of form a perimeter around you all, and kind of await your orders, Marcus, as you guys are moving in. As you get there, I would love a quick observation roll from everyone.
Uh-oh.
Fen, can I forego my observation roll to try and surreptitiously take a look at what I took off of Ganon?
You absolutely can.
I got a success this time.
Make me a... I'm going to say... What's our equivalent to stealth?
I'm a little
Mobility.
surprised there isn't a stealth
Mobility.
skill in this game.
Mobility.
Yeah, mobility is kind of a
Mobility.
big stealth one, yeah.
Or manipulation, depending on if he's trying to be socially stealthy.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah,
trying to be
they're-
physically stealthy.
Yeah, I'd say mobility.
One success.
Ooh, nice. honey.
Two successes.
2 successes. 2 successes. 1 success.
Nothing on Rue.
Nothing over. Okay, cool. You're just kind of taking in the environment around you as you're looking around, Marcus, and you're kind of looking to see what the situation is. You guys are currently. You guys in now? You guys are currently. I'll just draw a little one because I don't really want to. Right about in this area, in the back half of the wreck. There is, however, and this is what you'll see, another drop ship that looks to be one of the first squad's drop ships, right about up on the ridge, about a ways up over here, to be about good half mile to a mile north and up, like kind of a little bit on a ridge from where you guys are. You see like the peak of a wing peeking out of some brush, followed by, you can see as you kind of follow it in with your eye line, you can see it, the hull of what looks to be another one of the UD4 drop ships. And as you're kind of continuing to look around into the mud bank, which is off on your far right from where you have dropped in, and you guys kind of see the bulk of this wreck. There is another drop ship, a third one, that I'm gonna mark as well, right over here, almost embedded into the mud bank, kind of where almost like you can follow where the ship impacted in one area and then impacted a little bit higher up and to the right as you're kind of looking at it is another drop ship. And this drop ship is not UA. It is not a UD4 drop ship. If you want to, me, a wits contact roll, or wits contact roll to see whether or not you would have any idea what it is. And that can be for both Tom and Marcus, as you both see this.
Nope.
We're looking at wits and what? Contact. I'm sorry.
Yes, wits and contact.
Yep. Let's see.
I actually need to make one as well.
Yeah, we got it. Surprisingly
Nice.
enough,
Sweet.
Tom has a success. Was not anticipating that.
Oh, cool. And Lance Corporal Lorenzo will also note that. So both you and Lance Corporal Lorenzo will kind of immediately ping that as a UPP dropship. And this is kind of when you guys also notice that the name on the ship itself is definitely not just Glory. It also is not UAS Glory. It is a not that. It is many things, but UAS Glory is not one. It is the SSV Glory of the Proletariat is the full name of this ship. It still looks to be a medical frigate of some kind, but it definitely is not UA. It's not UA's. It's not the United America's ship. With your success on what you look at, I need to DM you something.
Ooh,
Because
sneaky.
and whether or not you,
Because Waylon Yutani's up to some shady shit. Yeah.
yeah,
Surprise.
Big surprise.
What a twist!
Let me go.
The day Waylon Yutani betrayed your trust was the most important day of your life. For them, it was Tuesday.
As I do this, Lenza goes, "That's not a UD4. You seen this, Corporal?"
Yeah, I'll walk over and he points it out. I'm like, that is not a UD4.
I will make the comment. Non-hostile contact.
Valid point. Let's be on guard. We should probably check those drop ships. I will meet up with I will pass off the incendiary devices to the other squad because we're not going to haul those around. That's a bad idea.
Fire team 2 will keep an eye on them as you do that.
Yeah. Bad idea. We will check out the proletariat's dropship first and work backwards from there.
Permission to take points, sir?
You want it, you got it. See how you do.
All right. I will lead the way with Long Tom, the M56A2 smart gun that I like to call my friend.
Wait a minute. You named your gun after yourself?
It's not weird.
It's a little weird.
Let's not decide what's weird and what's not weird right now. Let's find out what's going on first. Then we can have a debate about what's the weirdest thing here.
Do you call other things long time or just your rifle?
Oh, I don't need to hear that.
I will respect my sister's wishes, and I will lead the way.
Where does the Waylon Yutani rep go, by the way?
The Waylon Yutani rep kind of sticks with you guys, takes out his stuff and looks at the ship and goes,
"This is very important. How does he stick with us? Because unless he is sticking to us like somebody in prison that we own, he is going to get reprimanded real fast."
Do you wish to indicate that you would like him to?
Oh, no, I start off normally because this is an establishing dominance moment because we are now in our world, not his world. So if he is like not in line where he should be, then it's going to get real awkward. As a side note, for marching order, it is Tom on point, then me, then Ro, then I'm going to put our Comtech next, and Clive in the back. Yep.
Gotcha.
If he is not between Lorenzo and I, then he's going to be told to stand between Lorenzo and I. And if he doesn't understand it, I'm going to tell Lorenzo to flip his pocket inside out and have him hold on to it.
Understood.
Do you have your buddy?
Lorenzo is your accountability buddy, and you do not leave his side.
Lorenzo looks at you like, why do I have to be the accountability buddy? What the fuck?
That's what our Comtech.
Because you're not bringing up the rear.
Fine. Yeah, you're right.
Fen, I'm looking. I'm not sure where you sent me the secret message.
On Discord.
On Discord.
Just send it on Discord. I was looking to see what actually is in that. And you kind of open it up. You see this, what looks to be the set of papers. They have what I have shared with you in a little bit more wordy form. And you fold it back up, put it back away.
General Vaughn is our general, right?
General Vaughn is the assistant commandant of the USCMC.
Okay.
He is not a direct general, but an important one.
I will hold on to that information until I can come up with a good reason to talk to Marcus about it.
Gotcha. Understood. Do you try to get those back into Mr. Gannon's pocket?
Nah, those are mine.
Understood.
Finders keepers.
Yep.
We're on planet and no one can communicate off planet. What happens on planet stays on planet.
You all make it to the you guys are going to the first dropship, correct? The UD4.
No, we're going to the second one we saw.
Gotcha.
The glory.
Glory of the proletariat.
Yeah, we're going to the one next to the glory of the proletariat.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because like UD4, we assume we know what we're going to find, but we don't know what we're going to find here. That's a much more problematic problem.
Mm-hmm. So as you guys are walking, just to make sure I have this understood, you guys are heading this direction, correct? For everybody on the map, okay.
Yep.
And about halfway around the wreck of this large ship, you guys do see what looks to be like a set of bones in clothing. Let's see. Yeah, a set of bones and clothing. The clothing looks, again, not like your standard battle dressed. There's no M3 armor on it. There's no M10 combat helmet. It's foreign stuff. And it kind of, I believe, it's starting to fit the pattern that there were UPP soldiers here at some point. Whether it was recent or not is another thing. But there are bones. There's no other like blood or anything like that. It is just bones inside of clothing.
This is usually a joke question on our channel, but
yes,
how wet are these bones?
Ha! But dump.
These bones are. Sorry, I'm looking at the thing.
It's an actual concern for my character, but yes, moist skeletons are something we yell about a lot here.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you even used the M word with it too. Look at you being bold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was actually going to have our medic check the bones to see if they were eaten by native wildlife or what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was going to hop down. I was just waiting for mother to give us the stuff I don't need to roll for.
The bones, as far as you can tell, look pretty dry. Outside of maybe a little bit of mud that is splashed on them from something, they don't look to be particularly wet outside of that.
Hate to find a dry skeleton.
How are they positioned?
They're positioned almost like they have slumped against the side of the wreck and slid down. So like their upper torso is resting at an angle with their rib cage, and then their legs are just kind of out in front of them. Their arms are tucked into their sides, but also lying next to them. Obviously, they're not really to hold them up outside of the clothes. It looks like they've obviously kind of deformed a little bit.
I'll take up a defensive firing position to give folks time to scope it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she'll move up to it and kneel down. She'll look at her commanding officer, also looking like for permission, like as a puppy, like.
He'll nod and signal for her to do, and then take it to also add perimeter.
So, completely unaware of what a perimeter means in her case right now. She's just going to go and do a more thorough examination of the body here.
Okay.
Or
Keep
the
an eye
skeleton
on the
here.
plants.
Keep an eye on the plants. All right.
I don't trust him.
Give me an observation roll, Clyde. You are observing the plants. And then I'd like a medical aid roll from Rue. It'll be trivial because it's pretty simple. So you get 3 bonus dice to that roll because it's trivial.
Listen, I'll take that shit.
Yep.
Even the one that fell on the floor. That'd be 2 successes, my love.
2 successes. Awesome. And then any for the observation?
Nope.
Okay. Just looks like normal fauna, flora, trees, and various other plants. For the 2 successes, whatever did this obviously left very little biological matter that wasn't, bones. and basically anything that wasn't a like a nice hard calcium based material. And I say that loosely. My anatomy and anatomical knowledge sometimes falls apart here, so I apologize a little bit.
No, you're okay.
But it looks like everything that has the ability to be easily consumed has been done so, and it has done so without harming the clothing that protected this user and the armor that was this user was wearing, because all of that looks fairly recent. There's no decay or any kind of rips or tears on it outside of that. It looks pretty almost well kept. So you kind of get the idea that it's recent, but whatever caused this was able to entirely almost leach everything off of the bones besides the bones, is your best guess.
So she'll relay that to the group very medical scientifically, and then she's just going to go in with like her personal opinions. Like, it's just, so this is recent, right? But if you look at the positioning of the body, this is where the body fell. It wasn't repositioned this way. So something tore off all biological matter off of this skeleton, this individual, very, very quickly, but somehow negated all of the clothes. So either a swarm of something moving very quickly. It's just,
Yay. I hate wildlife. Ugh.
I'm very happy that I'm too dense to understand my sister's explanation of that.
Clyde is not happy about the idea of something.
Keep your
small.
incinerator module on the ready. If it's a swarm, the pulse rifles aren't going to do much, which means it's grenades, incinerators all day.
Ready to burn the tires.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. Let's make our way to this other ship. Anything Comtech?
Comtech doesn't really seem anything too not from the distance. When you guys make it to the drop ship, he kind of gives it the once over and goes, no, yeah, this is a UPP drop ship. A lot of stuff that they use when they're working with what I know of their the special operations forces. Now that I'm kind of getting a little more bearing, that uniform on that individual is also likely SOF. My guess is if he didn't have rifles, that somebody's come back through here, or something happened to where somebody needed that outside of that.
And really fast, Mother, feel free to say no if you don't want to roll this back. But
Sure.
The environment where we found the body, were there any tracks, shell casings, anything exciting?
No.
Okay.
There was no shell casings, no tracks of like human footprints. There were nothing outside of the tracks that the wreckage made when the ship crashed into the ground. There is a distinct lack of human interaction with this body.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Once we're closer to the dropship, what are our options for ingress into the vessel, or is it so torn up that there actually is no interior anymore? Its interior is just parts.
I'm going to make it pretty simple. The interior is pretty much caved in on itself when it impacted into the mud bank. You also see like a scorch mark up on the top, will be the front left corner of this ship that is kind of sticking out of the mud, kind of where it goes in. For anybody semi-familiar, it almost looks like an impact of some kind, or some kind of rocket or explosive has detonated in this area, leaving that kind of scorch pattern on the front of the ship. So,
but the scorch pattern did not penetrate the ship?
It did not seem to, no.
Okay.
But again, there's also parts of it that are stuck in the mud bank, so you don't know if maybe more of that has crashed there.
Yeah.
Does not seem to be a whole lot of recoverable things to it outside of if you want to, you could try to get into the cockpit somehow to see if there are survivors there. If you would like, it would be difficult, and you would also be trying to squeeze into a very now much smaller space since it is like caved in on itself.
The only question I have is the Comtech can make any connections to it to see if it can retrieve any data. That is the only thing that I would ask of him.
Give me just a second, Corporal. He's gonna make a roll. We'll go from there.
7 successes. Go NPC.
There is one success, which is more than 0. He's able to get a little bit off of the flight recorder by kind of plugging in his own kind of PDAT device and kind of downloading some footage. It's fragmented, and he's able to put some of it together. But he sees that in the flight recorder logs, it did take a couple of impacts before making that final descent into crashing. It also looks like it had hovered on station a while before those 2 impacts. And he kind of would gather based on his knowledge based on previous engagements with the UPP that it's he kind of relays this back to. So based on this flight recorder evidence, it's definitely clear that they were there to also do some sort of asset recovery of some kind. I would assume they dropped personnel in and then something hit them. I don't know if that was our boys or maybe some of the locals. It's kind of unclear, but it definitely got hit by what looks to be maybe 1 or 2 rocket propelled grenades, something of explosive nature based on the G's that are getting recorded here. And then that second one is what caused it to fall into the mud bank over here.
I think this is more of a player question. I don't know that Tom would think of it, but we're very concerned about making sure to incinerate our own vessel. Is there anything about this vessel that our characters would think, oh, we should be recovering technology of the enemy?
I would say Marcus might make that connection, but it's also a lot of this stuff that would be recoverable here would be stuff that the UA at least already knows about and has some idea of. It would not be really new information per se. It might be more information on things. But what we recovered from the flight recorder might be the easiest thing to get without taking more extensive time, and that's not the goal here.
And the flight recorder is going to have the unit designation and stuff like that, which will be important intel.
Yeah.
So the flight recorder is more than enough for us to give a report back to what Special Operations Force was here, what they're known for. Even though we might not personally know that, that's information that will be important to them.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's all going to be metadata.
Yes.
And just to double check, they don't eat people on O'Bannon's world, right? Like, this isn't a cannibal planet.
Not that I'm aware of, but if you see somebody shaking real hard,
As far as you all know, it is not a cannibalistic society. It is just one that is very much, this is our land, get the fuck away from us. So
let's go ahead and see what happened to our dropship up north then.
Okay.
I'm actually going to swing us around the entire side of the wreck. That way we've surveyed almost at least a good 65% of the wreck by the time we get to see our dropship.
Yes. Yep. Doing a passive.
Go ahead. It just lets us go around to see more of it.
Yes.
I also do keep a side eye on the Random Yutani rep, who hasn't seemed to add to anything that's been going on here. They don't seem to be surprised, but they also don't seem to be saying anything.
He has shown very little in terms of surprise. You can start to see almost a sense of unease that is not related to surprise or shock at what has happened here. It is if you want to make me an empathy roll to kind of suss out that.
Sure.
You can.
I'll make an empathy roll. I'm not awful at that. I live in that world.
To suss out a little more. So then just
nope, nothing. Because I can't roll a D6. I'm the king of not rolling a 6.
Then that is all you can glean from him at the moment. So
Mother, the wreck is the proletariat, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The wreck is named Glory of the Proletariat, not just the UAS Glory, like the briefing has instructed you. But this does seem to match the ship details that you guys have about this going into it. So
continue to lead the way
Mhm.
according to Marcus's instructions.
Yeah, same team lineup.
Gotcha.
Okay.
You guys swinging around the ship, you guys get a full idea of what's happened. It has crashed in. You can kind of see where it came in at an angle. So the right side of the ship, as you're kind of looking down from back to front, and as we can see on a roll 20, the right side of it has mostly broken up and shattered in kind of on impact. The left side is sticking out a little bit higher, and is more clear of any damage. You can still see where a rail gun is intact on the front of it, as well as one of the thrusters on the back for the ship when it's usually doing space travel. So you guys complete your rotation around it. You head up to the drop ship that is up on kind of the other ridge here in this kind of almost valley that this ship has landed into. And it's kind of a similar situation. Definitely got a score of pockmarks from what looks to be another like drop ship or other ship. You can kind of get the idea that it's maybe got shot up by the UPP ship, is your guess. And that was kind of more an easy one to gather because there's just a bunch of pockmarks that line one side of it. And then it seems to have crashed, heading in kind of a different way away from the ship as it is from where it's landed. You guys come up to it. The inside is a little more intact than the UPP ship is. Going into it, there are still what look to be 2 containers of QTC that are intact. There's a third one there that is currently leaking. And I would say it's a pretty easy thing to notice before you guys even step in. Just the nice shine of liquid that is currently kind of seeping out of the drum onto the deck and kind of almost kind of coating the right side of it from where it's landed.
We will call / look for survivors.
Calling out, you hear nothing in first. You do see what looks to be 2 pilots still strapped in up in the cockpit. As you guys kind of look around going outside of the ship, if that's the way you wish to choose, you guys can see in the cockpit, and both individuals look to be dead. One looks to have some sort of chest wound. You kind of see where a hole has punctured into the cockpit and nailed one of them, is your guess. And you can make a medical roll if you wish to, Rue, to get a more succinct diagnosis. The other one looks almost like just kind of eaten at, but it's like through the clothes style eaten at.
Regular eaten at.
Yeah, right. Regular eaten at, not just bones in clothes. It's not bones in clothes. It is so.
1 success on the medical. Now,
Gotcha.
This is from a distance, right? We're not there.
I would say you guys are around the dropship.
Okay.
As close as you can get without going through the QTC and going into the cockpit.
Okay.
So with that 1 success, you will know that he's probably died of a sucking chest wound that is, basically asphyxiated him and caused him to drown in his own blood. And the other one looks to be just blood loss from those wounds or infection from them as well. Neither look to be alive. Both have their eyes that dead look forward. That is just empty. You can kind of see on one of them, you see
they're still strapped in.
Yes.
Are the containers of QTC that are not ruptured retrievable or no?
You would have to be delicate in where you chose to step. In theory, you could retrieve them.
Okay. I will ask Clive if he believes he could retrieve those QTC containers without having an issue, because he is the most nimble member of our group.
Well, I mean, if you want, boss, but don't we have a bunch of pallets of that back waiting for us?
We got 3, but
2, sir.
Yeah, 2 pallets, correct. But I'd like to detonate the stuff that's already in here and burn out this drop ship, and leaving 3 containers is going to make a much bigger boom than just what's in there already ruptured.
All right, well, you're the boss, so I guess I'll try.
Mm-hmm.
Ability roll. Means you have to act quickly.
This is where we TPK an hour into the game.
Yeah.
All right, there's a push mechanic, right?
There
There
is indeed.
is.
There is a push mechanic.
I would like to push and not blow us up.
Taking a stress.
Take a
Yep.
stress, and you reroll any dice that is not a 6.
That's
They're
all
not
of them.
6.
Yes.
There we go.
There we go.
One success.
One success.
Ooh.
For sake of this, when you're rolling stress dice in the future, you will add stress dice immediately to the panic roll that you roll, or the next roll that you roll. So, but to clarify for us in roll 20, since we are just rolling d6s, roll your base stat first, and then roll your, so it's whatever your base stat is plus whatever your stress is.
Right.
So then, and work out the numbers to where it's the right number to do it with.
So it'd be 8d6 instead of 7 in this case, right?
Yes.
I thought it replaced a die with a stress
It
die.
replaces
not
it?
added.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'd roll 66 and then one extra dice on the side to see if you roll a 1 or not
Yeah.
on that
So
die.
yeah, 66 plus 1d6. Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
Rolled a d6. It is not a 1. You're not panic.
you're good. So with one success, I think you're able to do so. It takes a little bit of time, a couple minutes to pass as you kind of pull one out, walk back in. You have to stop yourself as you realize the QTC almost touches one of your boots,
Whoop.
and then you grab the other one from where you're standing and make your way out of the dropship.
It was a really dumb idea to make a contact-based explosive.
Yeah, I don't get paid enough to tell them it's a bad idea. But then I mark Clive down for accommodation when we get back.
Hey.
That's what I like to see. That's why you're a good boss, Marcus.
I'm like, accommodation? And
Hey,
then we
Marcus, can we go around back real quick and take a look at these two things real quick?
sure, sounds good.
And
Guys,
I'll,
take the.
You think there's something wrong with this QTC?
there might be. Let's just go around. Just,
No, when we
just
get back there, that's what he asked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you all make it back. It's easy. It's quiet. You hear some local birds off in the distance chirp a little bit. It's quiet.
So, Marcus, I may have borrowed something from our friend there from the corporation.
Okay.
He's got orders that don't have nothing to do with insurance assessment. I'll take out the
this-
manila folder.
I look very surprised, but not surprised. Like that annoyed, like, of course there's something else going on. Surprised.
Yeah, apparently General Vaughn ordered him to recover the flight recorder and any cryo-sleeping survivors present on the proletariat down there.
Okay, interesting. Does he have any command authority to do such, or did Vaughn just order him to do such in some letters?
Just this manila envelope and some letters.
To clarify, they are authorized orders of such.
I'm aware, but if he doesn't have those letters on him, he can't demand command authority because he has nothing to say he has command.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's what's real important right now.
Well, and Marcus, as you know, QTC is very volatile. It'd be a shame if that Wayland agent got blown up on accident.
Blowing up right now might not be an issue, but without these papers, he basically just yells about how he has command, and he has no command. So it'd be a shame if these papers accidentally got burned up in the
How quiet are you guys being? Just out of
real quiet right now. Now after he's like this thing, and I'm like, mother. Like, but we're on stream, so I'm not going to be quiet and whisper because that would be weird.
I'm not asking because I'm going to make a roll for him.
It's not an
Sure.
ASMR stream.
And I'm just going to make it against a set difficulty of 3 to see whether or not he can hear you guys from where he is.
Super legit.
Hey, I dare him to come over here and say some shit to us.
Mm-hmm.
Come at me, bro.
Then he might get burnt up.
No, he does not seem to hear you.
So I'm going to look over the letters, look over the manila thing.
Mhm.
Is there anything that really, really stands out? Because basically his command authority is derived from this letter, which he will lose in a few moments when it goes up inside of the dropship.
The letter,
Mhm.
as stated, is essentially their orders from General Vaughn for
Mhm.
Mr. Gannon to recover the flight recorder and any surviving cryo sleepers on the
Mhm.
Glory of the Proletariat. The General Vaughn does specify Glory of the Proletariat, not the UAS Glory, like you all have been told. And
I get the feeling that Vaughn is that type of general that's in charge of very black operations that have no budget.
time for the sponsored, not sponsored. There's a whole ass thing about that. We can get into it because we're in a one shot. But yes and no.
Of course.
I wish that Tom would have the chance to learn what Marcus is doing, because he would respect the hell out of him for it.
You probably will, because I'm assuming at some point in time this dude's going to be like, I'm in charge here. And we're like, really?
Prove it.
Yep.
Sure you are.
So, with that, you all are still standing outside the wreck of the glory of the Portaliat. Are you going to ignite the QTC?
We're going to ignite the QTC because you're supposed to destroy things.
Yep, makes sense.
This will destroy our meter. And mysteriously, those papers will end up in that fire.
Perfect. I'm game for that. They end up in that fire, and that fire goes up. You see the small, like, mushroom cloud of flame and smoke as it goes up. The dropship getting immolated in the fire that surrounds it. You hear a couple of small cheers from the second fire team as they're kind of holding point and getting a little bored. There's been a whole lot of nothing going on, and they were hoping for some kind of action. Because
do our comms reach to them, or are they short? Yeah, are they shortwave to the?
You can reach between each other and technically anywhere in planet.
Okay.
Because of how it works, you just can't reach out of planet because they're not strong enough to get through the electromagnetic field.
I will have our comm-tech officer then try to establish any sort of comms with anybody else, anybody from first squad, and then I will brief the other squad leader on the fact that we are possible hostiles, and there may or may not be special operation forces from the people, the
union of
union of people we don't like.
Yes, UPV. He'll nod and agree, and then go, cool. You want us to keep holding security out here, or
we're gonna hold security out here for now.
Sure.
We're gonna head inside and see what the inside of this ship is like, because it's the next part of the job.
Give us a holler if anything changes.
You give us a holler if anything changes on your end as well.
Absolutely.
And I'll have their comm-tech. I'll ask them to have their comm-tech officer continue to try to get a hold of anybody outside as well.
Yep. Yeah.
Because my thought process is once we get inside the ship, we might be able to lose some exterior communication because it is a spaceship.
Yep. The PFC that is their comm-tech kind of nods in agreement and goes, "Hi, Corporal." And then Lorenzo goes, "I haven't got anybody yet. I'll keep looking, but
look as long as you can. I would like to know more."
IFF states that we do have people inside the ship, but they're not receiving anything from them. So
wants to be real careful then.
How much time has passed just as we've traveled? My sense is not a lot, but okay.
No, about an hour in total between going, investigating, moving, investigating, coming back, igniting the QTC. Only about an hour has passed. It is about what looks to be mid-morning on O'Bannon's world. For their time is a little bit longer than the standard Earth day, if I remember correctly. And yeah, so but only about an hour has passed.
Okay.
So we will head back around and look for a entry point into the ship.
Okay. I would say with the observation rolls you guys had rolled earlier, you guys definitely had found one. It is in the what looks to be kind of like the back loading bay. Hold on. Right in the kind of the back in between where once the two thrusters were in the kind of back half of the ship, there is a engineering airlock that is currently kind of, it looks closed, but as you guys get closer to it, it looks more closed, but like left cracked, almost open a little bit, not fully shut.
Like closed door, but not a sealed door, clearly.
Yeah. And the airlock, you can definitely open it and get through both doors of the airlock, as there is no vacuum of space to worry about. Both are able to be opened pretty easily. And you guys,
I assume there is not really cool power on this ship once we get in here, is there?
There is a little
Oh.
bit. There's
Oh.
emergency power.
Okay.
There is not main power, so you have only like the little like soft running lights of like low dim bulbs, but it is more than zero light.
I'll call for lamps. Because everybody comes with a shoulder lamp. So
The shoulder lamps on.
Yep.
Lamps up.
Shoulder lamps pop on for everybody.
I have I've got a head-mounted infrared sight. Does that still function with the shoulder lamps? I don't think one negates the other, but
Does not. No.
Okay, great.
Infrared looks at a different band than visible
Yep.
light.
Yep, just want to make sure that my very basic understanding of physics is correct.
And once Clive gets back in line, I'll have him pop on the motion detector that he should probably have.
I believe he should have one. Yes.
Because he's a rifleman, and that comes equipped with his standard gear.
Yes.
You missed it. I'm going to have you turn on that motion detector that comes equipped with your standard gear.
I got it. I have no skill to use this thing, I don't think.
Okay.
It gives you It gives you like an automatic like feed thing.
It gives you a bonus to rolls for observation that involve motion.
Yep.
That is how it technically functions.
Yeah.
So, but looking at it, you see nothing outside of you all especially as you're running point and you look at it, there is nothing in the forward 270-degree view that it has that indicates any other movement on the ship at the moment.
Then we will head at not a hurried clip, but like a very steady marching clip towards the IFF signatures.
Gotcha. So,
Mr. Gannon, are you armed?
I have a sidearm, yes.
Okay. Do
thank
you
you,
you know how to use it?
I've passed a few weapons drills. Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure that you're at least okay.
Yes, I'll be.
I don't know what we're going to encounter when we go into the dark here.
Well, if we have to shoot somebody, we have to shoot somebody. So.
Yes, that is true.
All right. I wish I had more tokens just to clarify, but nope, that'll do. Right level.
God, I love their maps so much.
Their maps are beautiful.
Jesus. Everything Free League puts out is just gorgeous for no reason.
And I don't know if these are at all correct. Well, do we want to?
They're correct-ish. Yeah, they're correct enough. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
We can only control the one that's assigned to us, so.
Give you all nameplates. Keeping them pretty short and simple. So.
Oh, good.
So they all should have nameplates. All right. But as you all head in, it is quiet. There is what looks to be the aux power, but there does not seem to be much more than that. As you guys are heading in, and you guys got to see, looks to be just basically the central access way, for all of these things, for most of the ship. You eventually, if you guys keep going down that central access way, moving in at kind of at a decent pace, but nothing too crazy or quick, you'll come across a power station. And there at the power station, you guys see what looks to be there's somebody at one of the consoles. Kind of seem to be hunched over it.
Okay.
I'll
go
go
what
ahead.
sort of
Sorry.
uniform? What sort of uniform are they wearing?
They seem to be wearing one similar to the one that was in the skeleton outside.
Okay. I will have our point man approach then, while I cover him.
Yeah, moving forwards, and I'll sort of nudge the body once I get close enough to it.
You
with
nudge
the,
the
with
body.
the weapon.
It kind of continues to slump a little bit further forward, and it kind of ends up kind of face planting onto the desk, like just to the right of like this console. That seems to be kind of where you see what looks to be like the aux power active on the screen there. Main power offline is next to it. You see him slumped over. You kind of are seeing as you look down at the stuff, looking at him a little bit closer, you see a little pool of blood at the base of the chair. And I need you to take a point of stress.
Okay.
As you see what looks to be like just pieces of string kind of attaching him to the desk. Almost like string, but it's definitely not like physically string. It just looks a lot like string or like cobweb or like something trying to keep him placed there.
And it looks organic.
Yeah, kind of organic in nature.
Sir may want to send Gru up here. Take a look at this. There's something binding this body to the console. I've not seen anything like it. It's fucking gross.
Rue, head up, take a look.
Yes, sir. She like bumps into the person in front of her. Sorry. Scoops around them and she'll head up.
I'm the only person in front of you, so.
Oh, then she bumps into you. Perfect.
I'll whisper to Rue as she comes up beside me to be careful, and then I will cover her.
Okay.
Should we be moving our?
It's less important
plates?
until we hit
Okay.
combat. So
Okay, great.
I'm
Then I will
comfy
leave
with
it.
where I'm
Excellent.
comfy with where they are until we actually hit a thing where they become important.
Awesome.
To where everybody is. You look at it, and you will also take a quick point of stress.
Accept it.
You see this, it's vaguely familiar to you. Because you've seen this once before. When your whole squad was wiped out. You don't know what killed them, but you do know that a lot of them were strung up by this stuff onto walls when you pass back through to make your escape. You definitely know that this stuff is organic in nature. It comes from something that is not comfy, not human as far as you can tell. But you're familiar with this stuff, and it definitely never ends well for any of them. You know, it kind of is almost a little bit acidic in nature. And it affects, this boy.
Yeah, that's not a good day. I'm gonna role play her freak out here in a second, but
Sure,
can I get some basic questions about that experience and what I'm looking at? Cause of death on the actual body?
Cause of death on the actual body, as you kind of look at it, it looks to be bullet wounds. You see, as you kind of look, you see two in the hips, and you kind of see where blood is like on the armchair. It looks like whatever this person did had got into the armchair after they had been shot, but before they had either bled out or whatever happened to him since then. And it looks like he was a victim to whatever this was, not completely, because he died before that process could finish.
Gotcha. So blood loss before whatever the weird webby sticky organic material is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In her previous experience, you said the crew was strung up higher than like.
It ended up being kind of just struck to the walls a little bit above like if they were just standing on the walls, but not like crazy high, just higher than what normal anybody would be normally standing. So like about a foot off the ground or so for most of them. Maybe some of the taller ones were like had their feet just barely touching the ground, but
That's unsettling. And last piece of just looking at this material, is this something that I can go through with a knife? Is this something that needs to be burned? What's his strength?
You probably could. I remember if I'm going to add on to this the previous event here for your character. I would say that your character tried to cut it off when they first encountered it before they realized that everyone was dead. And I would say that it can be done. It is not easy. You could burn it off and it would be probably easier based on just the fact that you know that it takes a while to cut it.
Okay.
It's pretty strong material.
Thank you for all of that. As all of that is
Absolutely.
rushing back to her as she's looking at the body on the ground and she's not touching the webbing. Her face pales significantly and she scrambles backwards until she kind of like bumps into probably Tom's legs, his knees.
Mm-hmm.
And she's calling him Thomas, which she only calls him when she's on the verge of going out the back door, scared out of her mind. Or probably that's probably the only time, or she's trying to correct him or something. But she's Thomas, the bugs. It's the same sigil on LB4. It's the bugs, it's the bugs.
I'll sort of similar to when we were coming down on the dropship and exiting. I'm going to pick her up and sort of keep her in a bit of a bear hug, while with my other arm fanning the rifle, the automated weapon, continuing to cover us, and just hold her tight. I don't have the skill and empathy to actually
to
comfort
calm her down,
other than like to hug someone tight. Like that is my comforting mechanism.
Gotcha.
And she's getting louder, her feet are kicking, and everyone is going to hear it at this point because she's freaking out. It's the bugs, it's the same bug. They took out my entire crew. We have to go. We have to call for an extraction.
Private, get it together. I will roll command.
Nice.
Absolutely.
No, wait, I want to hear what she has to say.
I do too, but I want to hear what you have to say in a controlled, very sensible way.
I need to make a roll for.
I'll push that because apparently I can't, get any D6s even with a decent pool.
Damn.
Roll 20 is not appreciating you today.
Roll 20 does not appreciate me at all. Apparently, I will just fail miserably and get an additional.
Yep.
Yeah,
get another point of stress.
Point of stress for me.
I'm gonna roll some D6.
Apparently, I am not very commanding at all.
You are. It's just trauma response.
Trauma response.
Yeah, she's having a real bad moment today.
Nope.
No matter how much bass I put in my voice.
I'm going to say, at least by holding her tight, we are keeping you from running amok.
For sure.
I would say at this point, your initial panic towards the situation has passed. Rue,
Awesome.
You are able to regain control pretty easily, but it definitely does not come without, this point of stress you've already taken, and the command gains no narrative benefit or mechanical benefit to your situation, but given the time, you calm down a little bit to explain things or convey it. You do kind of notice Mr. Gannon kind of getting a little shifty. He's not hiding it. So what was it?
Sneaky bastard.
You said something about bugs?
The last drop that we were on, and very emotionally, but calm enough where I don't need to role play. I'm frantic. The last drop she was on. Her entire squad was knocked out by a bug of some sort. She's not familiar with it. Can't even say she actually ever saw it. But by the time she did come back from, yes, she did run away. Her entire crew was strapped up, suspended from the wall, very similar with the same organic matter.
Gotcha. Kind of goes. Where did you say this was again?
I think I made up LV4.
Yeah, that
Planet LV4.
Yep, that's perfect. LV4. I have to make a note of that. But okay. And he kind of looks around, both you and Tom. Goes, well, this complicates things.
I'm gonna need a hell of a lot more elaboration than that from you.
All right. Well, if that's there, and this is collaborated with other stories such as yours, Private Rue, we have a bit of a problem on our hands. It means that something happened here between when it crashed, and somebody must have taken either the sleepers off ice or something broke them. And if that is like that from the people that in theory were here 24 hours ago, based on the vital signs and the fact that it's not a new crash, or that it is a new crash based on everything we've read up at this point, and everything we've seen, that some of these, they aren't as neutered as I thought they were and dead, or they've just been freed recently.
What are they, insurance adjuster?
They are, Corporal, a project the USCMC has been working on, and if they should all be dead by now. They all have expiration dates. They are. I'm not sure how much you are aware of the xenomorph threat that technically exists still.
You're gonna have to elaborate. Wasn't exactly briefed on a xenomorph threat on this planet.
There isn't one.
There isn't, or there wasn't one.
There wasn't one.
Thank you, Clive.
A good
clarification.
Yes,
Mhm.
there wasn't one, and there still probably won't be one beyond a few days from now. But for the time being, there is a good. Well, if depending on how many, we have to go see how many cryopods survived the crash. Depending on how many there are, is kind of how many there will be walking around the ship or out in the jungle somewhere.
Hooray. I will try to communicate with the other squad if they're still.
You can easily do that.
Mhm.
You hear the corporal pick up.
Yeah. Be on the lookout. There might be something out there looking to attack, so try to keep an eye out for things in the jungle. Apparently, our insurance adjuster, biological and non-human.
Understood. It's a bug hunt.
Yep. And go ahead and can you give have one of those canisters of QTC brought to near the airlock door?
Can do.
Mhm.
You want to stage it outside or inside?
Just inside the airlock.
Inside the airlock. Copy that.
I was about to ask, so we've got enough here to light it on up?
We do. And that is the plan here in a little bit once we can confirm where these IFF tags are live or not.
Fucking A.
I'm not leaving Martin behind to get burned in here.
Mr. Gannon, I've got a very important question.
Potentially important answer.
It's very important that you answer this the right way for your safety.
Sure.
Were you coming here to get humans that were infected with xenomorphs or xenomorph eggs? Be honest with me. Don't do that company bullshit with me.
We are unfortunately indoctrinated to do so. So give me a moment to parse through that to give you a straightforward answer.
I need to deprogram myself.
That is the most honest thing I've ever heard an insurance adjuster say.
That is awesome.
Look, if we're going to make it out of this alive, honesty is probably the best policy.
Yeah, right now for you, definitely 100%.
No, it's I have come to collect individuals that had been implanted with the facehugger's embryo DNA, stuff like that. Facehug, they had them on, technically should be on the face still, they were frozen. But they are technically dead, and the incubation is on the in the person.
Follow up question. Did you all do that on
Yeah.
purpose?
Well, this is kind of getting about what I know. In theory, it's supposed to be a way that, they can clear planets without expending human life, as far as I know. But it's a whole project thing. Again, kind of getting out of my wheelhouse. I just know that they came here to pick up these individuals and transport them to another place. And this was we're going to take them, leave with our ship, head out to the thing, to another place, drop them off. That was what I was supposed to do as part of my job on the.
So this was an exchange.
Not an exchange. Exchange is the wrong word. It is still technically it is a search and rescue. It is technically a insurance recovery of sorts, an assessment, see if there are any recoverable test subjects.
Sure.
Would be the words that they would use.
This feels like a conversation we don't have time to finish right now, and one we should probably come back to in a little bit. Because we still have signal markers, and I would like to find our people alive. And the more we sit here and debate with this man, the longer that takes.
I'm glad we're of the same opinion, Marcus.
So,
Mr. Gannon, I regret to inform you that your insurance claim has been revoked. And I will shoot him in the face.
Oh, wow.
Marvelous. Dope. All right, roll me an attack. Roll me a ranged combat if you're going to use your weapon.
I shoot him in the face with my fist. I'm shooting him with my gun.
that's called punching. That's called punching. That's a different role.
Are we taking a break at any point in this evening? And if so, when is that?
Whenever you want it to be.
Okay, then why don't we make that right now? We'll take a quick bio. Leave it on that cliffhanger of
The
The gun
headshot.
gets drawn. Yeah.
yeah.
Your policy's been revoked.
Boom.
All right.
Shady ass motherfucker. All right, well, everybody, we are going to go ahead and stretch our legs, grab a drink, grab a snack, and we will be back in just a couple of minutes.